Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Bryson Beyond the Service. Sorry, I've been under the weather a little bit lately. I apologize for my throat. Tonight I'm going to show a video, play a little short video for you guys, and then kind of do my little dissertation on it, if you will. I think most real men, most real people feel the way that I'm about to, the way this video just sort of describes how men would like to be. Not only just men, but also society at large. I think most people want to be left alone, which gets into, small government versus big government conversation. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so just bear with me for 1 second. We'll play this video, a couple minutes, and then we'll just kind of get into it.
The man who wanted to be left alone. The most terrifying force of death comes from the hands of men who wanted to be left alone. They try so very hard to mind their own business and provide for themselves and those they love. They resist every impulse to fight back, knowing the forced and permanent change of life that will come from it. They know that the moment they fight back, their lives as they have lived them are over. The moment the men who wanted to be left alone are forced to fight back, it is a form of suicide. Which is why, when forced to take up violence, these men who wanted to be left alone fight with an unholy vengeance against those who murdered their former lives. True terror will arrive at these people's door, and they will cry, scream, and beg for mercy, but it will fall upon the deaf ears of the men who just wanted to be left alone.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is or who made that clip or whatever, but well said, sir. That's how I feel. I think that's how most people in general feel. I know most of the people watching this feel that way. If you're not like-minded, I don't know why you'd be watching my videos. I think pretty much every man watching this podcast or listening to this podcast feels the same way. We want to be left alone. We want to do our thing. It's old school, but it's true, right? Men are supposed to provide and protect. It's that simple, right? We're the providers for the family. Not to say that women can't work. I'm not saying that. But men are the providers and the protectors. Definitely the protectors. And, I think most people just want to be left alone and mind their own business and go to work and pay their bills and go to church and go to their kids' games and, maybe go on a date night or whatever and just be left the heck alone. A lot of this stems from this conversation stems from the big government versus the small government thing. I think I said that a minute ago. Sorry for repeating myself, but we just want to do our thing and want to be left alone. The problem is society, even though it's the minority, have preached toxic masculinity, and they've made up these terms and all this weird stuff that's just it's emasculated the average man. I'd like to think of myself as a guy who just wants to mind his own business and take care of the things I need to take care of, which is my family primarily, and be a good, productive member of society. Ultimately for me as a God-fearing Jesus lover, I want to spread the gospel. It's my duty, I believe. The Great Commission tells us to spread the gospel to the ends of the earth, and that's what I want to do. But even if that's not your mantra or whatever, I still think that people by and large I don't know where the men have gone. Is what I guess I'm trying to say. I've seen a couple of videos lately where there's just been a bunch of guys filming stuff that's happening. They got out their camera and they're filming stuff. Why don't you put your phone down and jump in and fight? Or help that person, defend the person. It can be a total stranger on a train or on a bus. Does it matter? No. We've talked about this before. What is right is now wrong. What is wrong is now right, and up and down, and all these things. If you haven't read the book 1984 by was it Orwell? Sorry, I can't even talk. Orwell. You might want to read that bad boy. I mean, we're living it out right now. And a lot of people say we're in the end times. I don't know if we are. I don't know what the end times look like. Sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm not feeling so good, but I need to get on here and make sure we didn't miss a week on these podcasts. I know sometimes these podcasts are longer than others, and some the content's better than others. And I've been trying to figure out how to move forward with this platform in terms of just the way we produce it and run it. And are we going to interview people? Or are we going to just do monologues and things like that? So it's hard when you're working a full-time job, and I have a small team, and they're busy working and living lives too. So we're trying to figure it out. But anyway, I wanted to jump on here tonight and just not really do a really long video, just kind of do a short video about what it takes to be a productive member of society. What does that look like? Well, the problem is, what was that guy? Was it Daniel Penny? Is that right? You guys can fact check me. I'm sorry. The guy that choked a dude out on the train, and the original, well, the suspect that was acting a fool, Penny was a Marine, I believe, he's a former Marine, and he choked him out just to try to subdue him and stop the melee. And for whatever reason, the guy passed away. And of course, Daniel Penny, not to be confused with Eddie Penny. If you guys don't know who Eddie Penny is, I saw him interviewed on Sean Ryan a couple years ago. And that brother is legit. So I was kind of getting the two mixed up in my little pea brain there for a second, because, like I said, I'm not feeling good. I feel like I'm in a fog. Like I'm feeling way better than I did last night at this time, but still a little foggy. So sorry for the lack of talent, or what. I can't even talk. I don't even. I want to say something, and it's like it's stuck in here. It won't come. I'm having a JB moment. You know what I mean? A senior moment. But I think that what all I really wanted, and I've sort of already said it. All I really wanted to get on here tonight and say to you guys is that the men need to. If you're a man, if you're a real man, you need to man up, and you need to lead your family. You need to provide and protect, which is one thing. But then you need to be, you need to have confidence. And where I get my confidence from is from the Word of God. So if you're following the Word of God, and you're following the law in the state that you live in, and you need to know the law too. You can't. I'm not calling for vigilantes to go out here and act crazy. That's not what I'm saying. I just think that we have to, as a society, we have to decide which way we want to go. Are we gonna follow the rule of law, or are we gonna let the inmates run the asylum, so to speak? Because it's only getting worse out there. We're kind of getting it from multiple angles. On the world stage, there's a lot of things going on with geopolitical things and other religions, and you know exactly which one I'm talking about. And there's a push for a great takeover there. There's also, the woke mob on the left. I mean, let's talk about, what was her name? Sydney Sweeney or something for a second. I didn't know who this girl was until a couple months ago, whatever, when the commercial came out. I mean, and they're trying to shame her, and that's not even a man; it's a woman. Problem is, she's a white female, and they've turned it into some type of race baiting thing, and said that she's considered herself a racist, or it's crazy. Like that doesn't necessarily fit with tonight's motif, because we're talking about masculinity and stuff. But I just thought about that for a second, because it's like all bets are off. No one's safe. This is a young woman who minding her own business, for lack of a better term. She's doing her thing out there, and she's catching flack. And it's just, if it wasn't for double standards, there'd be no standards at all. My friend Chris, I don't even know him. Hey, Chris Plant is on WMAL. I listen to him Monday through Friday, 9 to 12, where Washington comes to talk. But Chris is awesome. He's a smart dude, and he's been around the block for a while. And that's what he says. If it wasn't for double standards, there'd be no standards at all. And he's not wrong. These people are perverted and sick and delusional most of the time. And quite frankly, it just stems from, I say this a lot on here. It's a heart issue. If you don't believe in God, I don't know where you get your moral compass from. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I'm a Christian. I know not everybody watching this is, and that's okay. I'm hopefully you'll come around at some point, maybe. But um, what's your moral compass? How do you dictate right from wrong? I don't know. It's a weird set of circumstances that we're living in nowadays. People are beating each other up and mugging each other and acting crazy, and everything's on video. Anyway, this video tonight is basically a call to the men to step up and man up. A lot of times I do safety tips for women, try to help them, and that's cool too. But tonight this is more of a call to arms, so to speak, figuratively speaking, YouTube, figuratively speaking, to man up and do the right thing, and stop letting the minority ruin everything.